You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Today on the Game Marks podcast, we play WWF Superstars 2 for the Game Boy, thanks to Megamark Brett Vann. Will this game hold up today? Will we play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
All of this plus gaming news, WWE 2K22, and Clash at the Feast. Plug in and put on those nostalgia goggles because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now. And now, the Game Marks.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast presented by the Major Pod Network. I am Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis.
And I'm the man they call Johnny Clash, and today we are playing WWF Superstars 2 thanks to Megamark Brett Vann.
And as always, we love to hear from you guys, so please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and make sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you choose to listen, and join in on the conversation on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod, and on Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. Johnny Clash.
What's up?
How are we doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. We haven't played a Game Boy game in a while. I got the big bulky gray Game Boy next to me. It's got like boogers and like sweat all over it, and I'm ready to go.
I gotta tell you, man, when we get to bust out not only the Game Boy emulator to see how that works, but I get to break out Big Gray, the giant gray Game Boy that I have, my OG from my childhood. It is a good day.
Do you have the like magnifying glass that goes over it also with the light?
Somewhere.
Yeah, I had
somewhere in like a equipment bag that I've had since I was a kid that my grandfather gave me. I have that.
Eventually that turned into like the noodle light for the Game Boy Color. Oh man, what good times. Game Boy had the best accessories out of any game. We digress.
Just very creative accessories.
Yeah. So last week we played we got to read the title again. Giant Graham All Japan Pro Wrestling 2. What are you feeling? We both played it forever.
Still good. Still very surprised about how graphically accurate, I guess is the right word. Just graphically appealing that game was. And like we said last week, the controls not super complicated, and with a game that is visually appealing and has good graphics, I mean, it's an easy play forever. I'm sticking with it. How about you, John?
Yeah, and it was very ahead of its time. We compared it to SmackDown many times, but it was out before SmackDown. It was out before the Royal Rumble arcade cabinet, which we also compared it to. So I think overall it was pretty good.
The only body model that looked like it belonged in Attitude was Vader. Not every body model had just like, fixed Hasbro-esque shoulders.
Yeah, right? They look pretty good.
But yeah, why don't you take us through what's going on this week?
All right, today you are getting the show ad-free on Patreon. Tomorrow you're getting these beautiful show notes that drive the show, along with GMP Game Over, our weekly N64 show where we play different versions of No Mercy. We've been playing Feel the Bang, the WCW version, and quite an interesting episode last week, as my audio didn't work the whole time, and I just kind of wrote in commentary under my name throughout the whole episode. I made a little like
pop-up video.
Wednesday, you're getting Future Endeavored on Patreon. Last week, George played Onita Atsushi FMW, and I am playing the same game next week, and I watched yours, and oh man, a rush of nostalgia from 2 years ago when we played that with Bobby Orlando came flushing back to me.
I completely forgot about the mushroom guy.
Yes.
And I remembered as soon as I saw the stage that's where I got frustrated last time we played.
Yeah, it's not an easy, I don't know. It's Future Endeavored, so that's why.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what you have to say through your playthrough, because when I wrapped everything up for that episode, I kind of reinforced why I didn't think this worked. And I'm very curious to see what you have to say, now going back.
I'll let you know. Don't worry. Friday, I've been saying it for 2 weeks now. I'm gonna really try to get Clash and Burn up on Patreon. I've had the idea of who I want to speak to. I just gotta make it happen. But George, the streamer spotlight for this month, for January, twitch.tv/NY Islanders _. I have been watching.
Who are they?
I have been watching a lot of NHL from Islanders GT, and it got me itchy. I put the game back in. I've been playing some Hockey Ultimate Team. I've been playing some Threes Eliminator. I've been playing some, what's it called? I can't think of the name right now. It's where World of Chell, that's what it is, where you could play with other people. You could play a one-on-one game, which is pretty unique. You could play some drop-in games. I told our buddy Tecker, the other Mega Mark, to make an account on World of Chell, and we could start dominating some people. It was a lot of fun.
I think that is awesome. So, now, this only is for, what's the current one?
21?
21?
Wait, 22. 22?
I was going to say it's 22,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That has like what? I'm going to sound like such an idiot right now. What month does that usually release?
October.
Like the October's, like most other of the genre. Let's say I wonder if this is going to be a thing that like kind of grows and evolves and maybe even gets like its own kind of like spin-off thing for the NHL series.
Well, it's been in there the past 2, I think. So it's what you would see a streamer play, I think, most of the time. I'm not that into like the Hockey Ultimate Team because it's more like you got to open these packs of cards and make your team, and it's just not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just takes too long to do the BS stuff when I just want to play a game. But there's another mode that I discovered where you just drop into a game against another guy, and it's a one-on. Ooh, I just hit my mic. It's a 3-on-3 game. It's called Rush, I think, and they give you 2 stars. So I got like Paul Bissonnette, the host of Spittin' Chicklets, and I got Carey Price, and then you open a pack and you pick another card. So I got like Ryan Pulak from the Islanders. So that was my team, and I played against another guy who also had Biz and Carey Price, and then another guy, and you play 2 5-minute periods. So there's so much in this game, and I think I found my next streaming game that I'm going to start up again.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. There is a void with you not having lunchtime heat anymore.
There really is, yeah. But I think I don't know if we want this. If we don't want this on our channel, I could always go back to mine. But I think a lot of our listeners would also appreciate some NHL action.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's been some downtime on our Twitch channel the last couple of weeks, but that's because there's some things in the works for our I don't even know, our bosses. Is that the right word?
Our network.
Our network. Some bigger things happening for the network as a whole. So trying to work that in with also streaming. So be on the lookout. Things are going to go back to normal in a little bit. Just gotta kind of get the schedule back in order. And
I think we got to talk about GMP 64 Season 2 pretty soon.
Oh yeah. Damn. Shit. All right. Maybe streaming's not coming back. All right. But guys, speaking of GMP 64, you know where you can find all of Season 1 of GMP 64? On our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast. You know what, John? I have a new goal.
Oh, yeah?
You know, Matt, Brian, and Mark over on the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast talking about how they got the plaque for 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I want it. I want a plaque.
You want that? I
want a plaque.
We are just a few shy about a lot.
We're about 95,500 shy.
Yeah, let's start with getting 500, then we'll work to 1,000. We'll see what happens.
I want it. Want it.
Oh, but check out GameMarksPod.com/shop for gamer grips, guitar picks, and other GMP merch. Are you ready to dive into a loaded gaming news?
I mean, this gaming news could be an episode all by itself.
Let's do it.
Are you looking to get a better grip on life? How about your video games? Well, VGF Gamers are the largest silicone gaming brand in the USA. They have a variety of different and unique skins for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers and consoles. Check out their products at vgfgamers.com and use code GameMarks to receive 15% off your order at checkout. That's GAMEMARKS at checkout. VGF Gamers. Better grip, better style.
All right, so where do we start? Do we want to do the big purchase first, and then do we want to talk 2K after that?
Yeah, we'll do the big purchase first, just to talk about what it affects, and then we'll move on to the thing that really affects the future of this podcast. I don't know if you guys heard, a little company by the name of Microsoft, maybe you heard of them, purchased another company. It's Activision Blizzard.
I might have heard of them.
You may know some of the games that they've made. Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch. You know, just a few titles.
Tony Hawk, Spider-Man, Candy Crush. It's all in there.
For the low price of 70 billion. That's with a B, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus.
A B, billion. Lot of interesting topics of discussion coming about for the future of a lot of these franchises. I think the most interesting one is which, if any, will become console exclusives. Meaning that, you know, Call of Duty, if they wanted to, could really only be an Xbox and PC exclusive from now on, and it could be dead on the PlayStation.
But why would they?
I mean, it's a moneymaker across all platforms, so I don't know why they would limit it. They would really be kind of bottlenecking their sales with that, but hey, if they wanted to, they could.
Yeah, I think that's where people's minds first go, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I also heard a rumor that now that this acquisition, this buyout, this purchase has happened, that the first order was because Vanguard was such a, I guess, a commercial flop, that they are expediting the development of the next game to have a release earlier than the October-November release that they typically do.
That's good, because it's probably Modern Warfare 2.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And I'm okay with it because it's rumored to be Modern Warfare 2, and I want that. Like, I want that. Give me Crash every day.
Crash was in Modern Warfare 2, also, though. The one that was just out. But
maybe I'm not thinking of Crash. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's huge. It has implications for so many huge franchises. We're kind of just got to wait and see what happens. But in news that is more relevant to this podcast, we got
finally
a full-blown trailer, the cover, the DLC, a lot more information on WWE 2K22. John, where did we start with this?
I'll start with that commercial, because it starts with Tim the Tat Man, so automatically I'm hooked. He goes through like the creation studio. I think I did too.
I didn't believe it. I was like, is that Tim?
Two Cowboys fans. He comes face to face with The Undertaker. I thought that was pretty cool. I know he is a wrestling fan, so he was probably like screaming the whole time. It's got all the wrestlers in it, going through the development of the game. One of their better commercials they've had in the past few years. It had, I think it was Machine Gun Kelly playing the drums for some reason.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know.
I'm assuming he's going to be a part of the soundtrack. He was in.
He got powerbombed by Kevin Owens off the stage once.
That's true, but he's been featured in a lot of other like franchise games before, musically. So, but let's talk about the cover first and foremost. It's the thing that you're going to see, you know, every time you go and pick up the game, whether it's digital or you get in the hard copy. Rey Mysterio, unreal.
One of the more solid choices for a cover star, I think.
I mean, great choice. The artwork itself is beautiful. I think I actually might prefer the digital cover to the deluxe cover.
Agreed. Yeah, same.
It just, that feels more like a video game, where the other cover, while it's awesome and the color layout is chef's kiss, beautiful. I I think the other one just reads more like a video game. But how about this, John? The 2K22 NWO for Life Edition is the pre-order.
Yeah,
which you get
2 arenas, 2 NWO. No, not. You get the playable NWO wrestlers. You get 2 arenas. You get the Wolfpack Championship, and you get Starcade 96 Mysterio Pack, which comes with the deluxe version. But it is digital only, I believe, right?
So I'm looking at the website right now as we're going through this, and it says NWO for Life includes playable NWO Superstars, playable NWO versions of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Six, and Eric Bischoff. You also get the Season Pass, which will give you access to all 5 DLC packs, which will feature Superstars, Legends, and obviously, as they do every year, you get the My Rise Mega Boost and the Supercharger Pack, which is all... or one is to unlock all of the content in the game by just pressing a button, and the other one is like an accelerator for your created character in the career mode. You also get the Undertaker Immortal Pack, which we haven't spoke about yet, which we're going to talk about now. The Undertaker Immortal Pack is 3 additional versions of the Undertaker. You get the Phantom of the Opera mask version of the Undertaker. You get the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker. And then, I can't believe that this is actually in a game now. It's awesome. You get what appears to be the Boneyard match Undertaker.
Yes, and I got something about that a little bit later.
Oh, now this is cool. Again, I'm willing to bet each version of The Undertaker is going to be a separate character, and it's probably going to drive me nuts because it could have been real estate character slots used.
George.
Did we get news about that not being the case?
No, I just clicked on the website to buy, like, pre-order the actual hard copy version. Yeah. And it comes with a Rey Mysterio steel book cover for the game. I'm going to put this in our notes right now. This is worth the physical copy.
Wait, the deluxe edition?
Yes.
Hold on a second.
I just put it in the notes.
Hold on a second. Huh. Interesting.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
I like it.
Wow.
Now, I'm not sure.
For those of you who can't see this, obviously go out of your way to look at this, but it is literally a steel cover, and it's got a profile of Rey Mysterio with his like current modern style mask with the mohawk. But it just is beautiful. It's got his signature on the back. It's very, very colorful, very, very bright. I gotta say, I think this might be the brightest cover to like a 2K game.
I think so.
In the WWE series. Usually they're very...
They really ventured off in most of them. They needed to. They needed a little refresh. I want to talk about the prices right now because these are a little out there. The standard edition is obviously $69.99, as most games are these days, which is way overpriced. That is for PS5 and Xbox One, where the regular standard edition is only $60. Now, the cross-gen digital bundle is $79.99, where you can get it for PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and Xbox One, which is crazy. And all you get really is the Undertaker pack and that Starcade 96 Mysterio pack. The deluxe edition is $100, and the NWO for Life is $120. So whereas that sounds great, that's the price of 2 games, and to only play as these 4 wrestlers that are probably going to have community creations that are just as good.
Well, you're also getting the season pass, and the season pass is usually like an additional...
I don't use that anyway.
Oh, I know, but just saying, for those people who care about like the DLC, because they usually have like the Future Legend or Rising Stars, and then they have the Hall of Fame class, and then they just have 2 current like modern roster people who either are getting called up or who are soon to be getting called up relatively soon, or have like just been called up. Like I would assume that someone like Austin Theory would probably be in the first DLC pack.
Possibly. At this point, I don't know who's going to be in it at all anymore.
I mean, the roster fluctuates so much, and it's probably going to fluctuate again before March. So,
and when you get to the roster page on the 2K page itself, it only has the 4 NWO members, Edge and Rey Mysterio, on the roster. And at the rate that they're going with their releases, that might actually be the roster by the time this game comes out.
Oh yeah, you see pictures of The Rock, Kevin Owens, John Cena. They talk about. I mean, in the picture of the My GM mode, they show Lashley, Finn Balor, Matt Riddle, Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks, and Dolph Ziggler. You see Macho Man, Goldberg, Big E. Ugh.
Goldberg.
The thing I'm trying, like, kind of struggling with right now. So, for the sake of the podcast, I want to get this on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I see an option on the website to pre-order it on Steam, but then when I go to like actually pre-order it, I am just stuck on maybe it's a browser error, maybe it's not necessarily
you have
the website itself.
You have a couple months to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I mean, the game itself looks interesting. What else do we have to break down about this game?
Well, there's 2K showcase. There's 2K showcase mode where you're Rey Mysterio. You do his most memorable matches and moments of his career, which is always cool. You have My Faction, which is you build your own faction that rivals the NWO. You collect and manage and upgrade WWE Superstars with weekly events and updates.
It's like live action super card.
Yeah, and then you have My Rise, which is their typical story mode, but now you have a male and a female storyline. And the Creation Suite, which is supposed to be the biggest one they've had yet. And I saw some interviews with some developers today that said it is going to be cross-platform.
So the Creation Suite cross-platform, talked about it.
You said it. You said you wanted it.
I was just saying, it's something that I've wanted for a long time because, you know, having 2K20 on PC, you know, the game, separating all the issues with the game itself, while there are great creators on the PC, there are far more creators on the consoles, and it really kind of inhibits your ability to have the crazy diverse creator wrestler roster that you would have, you know, had you just gotten the game for a PlayStation or an Xbox. So this is great. I'm very excited about it, and I feel like when the time comes and you and I are playing this on, you know, whether we're playing it on the podcast or we're just playing it casually on YouTube or Twitch, I think it's going to make the playthrough itself a lot more fun.
Yeah, and 2 My Rise modes, we could each take one and run through them.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do what we should have done with 2K20 with this game.
Yeah, right? We could actually, like, play it and have fun. I'm hoping.
Like, live streams, YouTube content, we're going to play through it together. We're going to create content separately. Like, we're going to do the thorough breakdown and playthrough of this game that couldn't and we didn't want to do for the train wreck that was 2K20.
Right. So you know what was funny? I'm looking at this roster here, and it shows the 3 Hogan, Nash, and Hall all from like the same era, and then you have like 2000 whatever X-Pac when he was with Shawn Michaels and Big Show and Booker T in the NWO. But WCW Worldwide earlier in our Discord pointed out that the cover of the NWO version is actually a Photoshop job of Nash, Hall, and X-Pac, and then they put Hogan in there and added sunglasses to him.
Huh.
So I don't know why they had to do that. I guess that's the only picture they could find with the 4 of them, but pretty funny.
Yeah, maybe there's not I guess maybe there's not like a non-Hall of Fame shot of all the guys.
Or just Hogan looks old. I don't know. Could be.
Or that. Or that. I will say this, though. In the video, you do see something that I have a feeling a lot of people are going to use for their creative character. You see Shotzi.
The tank.
Like a split second, and she's coming out in the tank, and I just feel like everyone's going to use that for their entrance.
Oh, yeah. Even like the last scene where Drew puts the sword into the ramp and the pyro goes off.
Yeah.
That looks so cool. I wonder if we're getting
so many things like that.
Yeah, I wonder if we're getting a Thunderdome arena.
Oh.
Just random faces on a screen. I don't know.
I got to tell you, that feels like a fever dream. Like, that feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't.
No.
It feels like it was a lifetime ago.
No, they made it happen, though.
They made it happen, and that was a WrestleMania was like that. Like,
weird, right?
Wild.
Really
wild.
Weird. We had a WrestleMania with no crowd. Weird.
Yeah. And titles changed hands.
Titles?
Like a lot of them.
A lot of them. All right. As more stuff comes in.
And the screens went mild.
As more stuff comes in, we'll cover it here. But are you ready for the mark out moment this week?
I am ready. Let's go.
What's up, Marks? We are proud to announce our newest partnership with NordVPN.
Protect your privacy from prying eyes with military-grade encryption and NordVPN. Are you sick of getting targeted ads after looking up a product or talking about it once? Whether you want to maximize your streaming services, get better protection while working from home, or just want an added layer of security while browsing the internet, NordVPN is an easy and affordable way to protect access to your personal data.
Visit GameMarksPod.com/VPN to get more information and try NordVPN risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee.
Protect your information, reduce your digital footprint, and feel safer on the internet, all with NordVPN. All right, the mark out moment of the week is a segment that we use to highlight things that happen in our community. It could be an awesome review that was left. It could be pictures of your collection. It could be just an awesome question that gets asked. You can ask all of your questions at Game Marks Podcast on all forms of social media. And if we pick your question, you will get a little Game Marks Podcast prize pack. But little birdie told me that actually we're going back old school style. You've got a question for me.
I do. I was thinking about this game today. I was thinking about Dream Matches, the Rey Mysterio Showcase mode. And I want you to give your ultimate showcase mode, who it is, what matches you want to feature. Tell me what it is, and then I'll give you mine.
Oh. All right.
I'm putting you on the spot here. I had time to actually write mine.
All right. First thing that comes to mind, just because it would make sense, like with like the naming convention, I want one more match.
Christian?
I want Christian. I want showcase of Christian. You can start with his debut as, with Edge and the Brood and go all the way through that. Then you can play through the separation. I'm sorry, you can do everything with the Brood. Then you can go through, TLC and everything with the Dudleys and the Hardys. And then you can do the split where he's on his own. Then you can do him getting, him cutting his hair, being in the world title picture, the program that he had with Orton. Then you could have like the little video where he goes away because he's hurt or he's recuperating or whatever. We'll say because he was injured. And then he comes back and he has that one more run feud again with Orton. They would never do it because he's in AEW now. But I think that would be a nice, because with the showcase modes, you got to make it. There's got to be enough meat on the bone to make it where you're playing through a long series of matches. I think that Christian absolutely has that kind of career. And obviously the only other one that comes to mind that works like that would be Edge.
And then you could combine them, do them both.
That, you know what? I don't think that there's ever been one like that.
That would be cool.
Like a tag team showcase mode? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, or Hardy Boys, and we can't do that either.
What if they just did like
Hardys, Dudleys, Edge, and Christian?
Yeah. And like you could just pick who you wanted to start at, and then at some point it all just meets together, and then like it splits and you have different arcs? Like, do you want to, like, you could start at the Dudleys, then you hit the TLC matches, and it's like, okay, you started as the Dudleys. Do you want to finish the showcase mode as the Hardys, as the Dudleys, or as Edge and Christian?
Maybe one day, since we got the Dudleys and Edge in the Hall of Fame, we need the other three.
Yep, I want that. All right, but what's your idea?
All right, so I want AJ Styles, but I want to start in TNA, old TNA, since like WWE and TNA, you know, you hear about the Forbidden Door all the time, and it's
Mickey
busted
James in the
open,
Rumble.
yeah, with all that. How cool would it be to have like a working deal where the old TNA arena was in this game? You could do AJ versus Jeff Hardy from TNA pay-per-view 100, because you're not going to do like the first TNA with like Low Key and the Flying Elvises and all that.
And they got to program a 6-sided ring?
Yes.
And they got to do Ultimate X.
Yes, because the TNA pay-per-view 100 with Jeff Hardy was actually the first time they used a 6-sided ring, if I remember correctly. Then I would do AJ versus Samoa Joe at Turning Point 2005, because that's like a classic, and you could put Joe in the game even though he's released for like the millionth time.
Yeah, he's the body scan. The skin is there.
AJ versus Kurt Angle, you could choose any of them, but Hard Justice I chose. And then you could work to his debut in the Royal Rumble in 2016. You could go through his WrestleManias with Shane.
Only if they use the video game model of Roman Reigns and they just keep the camera on him for way too long.
Yes. You could do AJ versus Shane from Mania 33, AJ versus Shinsuke from 34, and take it all the way to the Boneyard match.
I actually am okay with that.
Imagine the Impact Zone, like now.
And then you can
cool.
throw his feud with what's his name?
Omos?
No, now he's on NXT with Grayson whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm an adult. I don't watch NXT. You knew that was coming. But that's
Grayson
fine.
Waller, that's his name.
I would love to hear what everyone else has to say, what their ultimate showcase mode would be. I think, listen, we got from Stone Cold Steve Austin now to Rey Mysterio. I didn't think we would get Rey this year, and I think that's a pretty cool one because he will work probably from maybe ECW, WCW, all the way up.
Yeah, I mean,
his debut,
obviously very deserving.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna let you do Halloween Havoc. You know that.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's a lot. I wonder if you're gonna get like LW, not LWO, Rascals.
Rascals, No Limit Soldiers.
They're gonna have the little devil horn Rey Mysterio,
maybe
no mask,
Kidman and stuff. Yeah. Filthy
him
Animals
getting squashed by Kevin Nash.
Oh, I try to block that time out of WCW. But all right, that was our mark out moment of the week. Are you ready to talk about? Oh yeah, we have to play a game today.
Oh yeah, we actually have a game to play. Sorry, we're a half hour in, and now we're going to talk about this week's game.
People hate that on our social media. But are you ready for WWF Superstars 2?
I'm ready.
What's up, Game Marks? Are you trying to look your best while repping your favorite video game podcast duo? We know just the place. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod to pick up your favorite GMP designs, including our various logo tees, Future Endeavor, the classic NES Pro Wrestling style tee, and of course, Mark the F out. Order today and receive a phone call from us. You never know who will pop in. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod. Play it forever.
All right, WWF Superstars 2, released August 1992 for the Game Boy, developed by Sculptured Software, published by LJN. Other games out in 1992, you've got WWF European Rampage Tour, WWF Super WrestleMania, WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge, Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden, Fire Pro Wrestling 3, Legend Bout, and Super Fire Pro Wrestling 2.
Half of them found in the archives.
I was going to say, I feel like the more and more that we do this show, now that we've started doing the other games that are out this year, I'm actually realizing how many games that we've played. Like, we stopped numbering the episodes, but for those of you keeping track or just curious, this episode is episode 128. That's a lot of wrestling games.
Yeah, and we've only repeated maybe 2 or 3 times with some interviews sprinkled in. That's a lot.
That's wild. But this game, I gotta tell you, right out of the gate, is gonna feel familiar.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about why later, but I mean, you immediately feel like this is something you've played before.
Well, it is a sequel to WWF Superstars and the second WWF game for the Game Boy console. Now, do you want to read the description of this game? Because it's pretty funny.
Yeah, so
because it's very dated.
Crunching clothesline, devastating drop kicks, back-breaking body slams. Do they know that backbreakers are actually a move? Step through the ropes for all new WWF action. Match your skills against 6 of the toughest WWF superstars in tag team and singles matches. On the mat, in the air, in the ring, or inside the steel cage. Use Game Link to lock up with a friend for the ultimate WWF Wrestling Challenge.
Now, that Game Link, we've talked about this before.
Use your Game Link, John. You got to say that in the like
Use your
energetic announcer in your energetic announcer voice too.
Did you have a Game Link?
I mean, the Game Link is just a link cable. It was just like I had it for like Pokemon.
So did I.
But
but
I never used it for anything else other than Pokemon.
Exactly. Like, I had it for the original Game Boy like this. I also had the 4-player connector hub, whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
but,
I did not have that.
But no one I knew, none of like my cousins, my friends, ever had a link cable or a game we could play against each other with other than Pokemon, and you can't do 4 players in that. So this thing, I don't think I ever even used it.
I will say this. Do you know what the best addition to the Game Boy was, in my opinion?
A lit up screen?
The Super Game Boy.
I didn't have that.
The Super Game Boy let you play your Game Boy cartridges on your Super Nintendo. And I remember the year that I got that.
Sega guy, remember?
My mind was blown. What do you mean these normal, non at all colored cartridges are suddenly played with color on a television? Not good color, but a little bit. They got a tint now. They're not just green.
No, but however, I did have the one for, I think it was N64.
Oh, like for like Pokemon Stadium, where you can pull your Pokemon from the cartridges into the stadium games.
Yeah, but I don't think you could actually play on the screen, right?
I think in Pokemon Stadium, no, I don't think you could. I was gonna say, I think in Pokemon Stadium 2 you could, but
yeah, I think it was just kind of like a transfer pack.
Yeah,
not an actual like play on the screen, but that would have been cool. But all right, this game,
you play Game Boy games on N64.
I'm sure there's a way. Research that. I'm going to get into this game.
It's just for game data.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. But this game is compared to Steel Cage Challenge, but it's said to run much faster. I mean, there's not much to it. There's only 6 wrestlers in the game. It features a more limited moveset than Superstars 1. It only has a couple of moves, which are strikes, where you're only punching and kicking. You have grapples, where you do a headbutt, a suplex, or a body slam. Oh, that was a body slam, not a hip toss. You have ground attacks like stomping and elbow drops, which the elbow drop, if you miss, you're taking a really long time to get up. Irish whip moves, which are clotheslines and drop kicks, and aerial attacks, which is a flying elbow drop that you could also hit standing up. Now, one thing missing from this game is everyone has the same moveset, and there are no signature moves.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of sad.
It kind of
it's kind of a bummer.
You know, you've drained someone's health, you finish the match, and you just have to pin them off of like a kick.
I guess you could be like, I'm gonna go up to the top rope and hit the elbow drop, because technically,
probably what I would do.
Macho Man, it's the right finisher.
Technically, yeah, it's just ugly.
Everyone's got Macho Man's finish in this game.
And also, if your health is drained, you get one kind of health regain per match where you press select and all of your health comes right back up. But your opponent can use it too, even a computer.
Yeah, I was going to say, which, you know, is great and all, but you're really not the only one who gets the benefit from that.
All right.
That little bonus there. But I will say this. The animations for the game itself, pretty smooth,
Familiar.
but with no finishers. It's almost like you put together a 6-piece puzzle, but they only gave you 5 pieces.
And that one piece is the Mountie.
Yeah. Speaking of the Mountie, listen. Do you want me to do the heavy lifting here and read through this roster?
Read through it. Go ahead. Don't break your back.
All right. Your roster for WWF Superstars 2. Ready for this? Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Sid Justice, The Undertaker, Jake the Snake, and the Mountie.
One of these things is not like the other.
One of these things is the Mountie.
Interesting choice, but I guess, the past games like Raw and Royal Rumble, which this is very much like, had kind of similar rosters. So I guess it's cool to see someone new in there.
Your options to put in here, you put Tatanka, you put Yokozuna, Brett, Shawn.
His character select image looks like Sergeant Slaughter, but his actual character looks like Big Boss Man. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Big Sarge Man. I don't know.
But other than that, everyone else is who it should be in this game.
They look like who they're supposed to be, but it's on a Game Boy.
Right. Now your game modes, you have 1-on-1 where you could go standard or in a cage. You have tag team, or you could do a tournament, which is just called Belt. And you choose a wrestler, and you just have to defeat the other 5 to win the WWF Heavyweight Championship. And that's it.
Love belt mode.
Belt mode. Belt.
We talked about this last week, and I'm still not really ready to do it. The cover for this thing is just a lot. It's a lot.
It's very, very all over the place. We're in the era where they're like, oh, we got this Photoshop program. We got Photoshop Elements 1.5, and we're just going to put shit on the screen.
I'm actually mad that I have to recreate this in some way.
Now, Superstars 1 had Macho Man, Warrior, and Hogan on the cover, and it was kind of cool. I kind of divided up with a nice little gold star, and they all got their backgrounds, their poses. Hogan's even like photoshopped a little bit where like his bandana is like hanging over the little star in the middle. But now you're just getting a picture that's skewed of the Undertaker and the Mountie in the Goozle for the Chokeslam. You get the LJN logo, the Nintendo logo. You get features, steel cage, and tag team action, which looks like it's from 1982. The Game Link logo. This is a lot for a cover. The Game Boy like little side graphic, which takes up majority of the screen, and then just like a random 8x10 photo shot of Hogan and Macho Man stretched weird on the cover.
Yeah. Now, so last time when we played Superstars 1, we had best friend of the show, Philip Cardigan, on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to work it in so that it was like you on one side, me on the other side, and Phil was in the middle. It was great. Good thing we don't have a guest for this episode, because there's no way that I would be able to work. This is a lot. It literally is just like, all right, we've got this shot of the Undertaker grabbing the Mountie by the throat.
Goozle.
Cool. Got it. But also, we need to get Hogan and Macho Man on the cover. So how do we do that?
Yeah. And it's
like, floating heads.
Now,
got it.
You see the crowd in this picture. Imagine you're one of these people in the crowd. Now you're on a video game cover. Do you think they signed a waiver? No way.
I was saying, you think they got like a photo release? I doubt it.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
There's absolutely no shot.
Same logo from Superstars 1, just a 2 was added under it in the same font. But the back is the line you read before about the crunching clotheslines and the backbreakers and all that.
And Game Link.
But now
use a Game Link to lock up with a friend.
But now you get the rest of the roster just kind of scattered around there in weird shaped photos. But then you actually get screenshots of the game, and for some reason they are in like an orange duotone.
They got like a sepia going on there.
Yeah, but like the Game Boy was more of a green.
I'm trying to think of how they would have got the screenshots of this, and I'm like, maybe they just like
Well, they had to
Maybe like
make
they're
it
like
somehow.
developer screenshots, and the developer screenshots have a different tint than the actual.
That's true. That's possible.
They almost look like they're bad photocopies. Like it's just like, yeah, I paused the game.
Oh, I know what they used. The Game Boy printer.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Remember
And then
that?
they photocopied them,
Remember that thing? I'm telling you, the Game Boy had the best accessories out of any console.
and then they
system.
photocopied them, and they put them on the box, and then they went ship it.
Ship it. Now we got the cartridge, which is just the same as the front cover, but I noticed that it said this side out on the sticker because people apparently were just trying to jam them in the other side. They like a USB. They didn't think to just flip it over, I guess.
You know how many times you have to flip a USB to get it in properly?
I do it every day. Yep, I'll never
3.
get it.
3. It's the right way, which is the first way you probably put it up. Then you flip it, and that's wrong.
It never
And you
works.
go back to the first way, and then it works the second time. Every time. Without fail, that's how USB cables work.
Yep. Now, let's talk about the actual art style of the game because from the beginning, I think you're kind of greeted with a nice little graphic. You know, you got a little border that is looking like a ring with the WWF logo that for some reason the F is just too short in everywhere it is in this game.
Short the F out.
Swoggle's new shirt. It says Superstars 2 with the LJN logo, and then you got Hogan, and I think it's Jake the Snake. They do a little sequence, a little spot ski. But then you go to the next screen is where you choose 1-on-1 or tag or built. And then you get your character select screen where you're choosing between the roster of all 6 that we just read. I think everyone you could tell who they are except the Mountie could be Sergeant Slaughter, and Sid Justice is just kind of a guy with hair.
Could be Greg Valentine.
Mordecai.
Could be Mordecai.
Could be, I don't know.
Could be Hogan without his bandana. Wait, holy crap.
I think it's the same, yeah.
It's literally the same face, like pixel art minus bandana.
Minus mustache and bandana, yeah.
Oh.
More flowy hair.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Huh.
But when you play 1-on-1 with the computer, you pick who you want to be, and then it randomly selects the next person. But you get a nice little intro here. You get the whole from Death Valley, weighing 300 whatever pounds, The Undertaker, and then you go to the next guy. So at least you're getting somewhat of an intro. And
we're leaving out the best part. On the menu screen, when you're selecting your wrestler, as you're scrolling through the characters, it will play a wonderful 8-bit rendition of their theme songs, which you know I love.
And then once you get into the actual match, you get no music at all.
Nothing.
But were there cool sound effects at least?
There were sound effects.
Cool is an understatement. The actual crowd in like arena is okay. I mean, they look all right. They're faded in the background.
This is the Game Boy equivalent of the shadow on the crowd.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
That's not bad.
If they darkened it, it would be hard to see.
Yeah, it works. It gets the job done. Your focus is on the crowd, especially on as small of a screen as the Game Boy has.
I think the health bar and the picture of the guy up top is just way too big.
Way too big.
If they just like shrunk the little character icons a little bit, I think you would not have just a blank area of nothing.
The character portraits can be the same height as the double like black blocks that the name and the health bar's in.
Yeah.
It could be that small.
Well, we do have to remember how small the Game Boy screen actually was.
That's true.
But unlike Raw and Royal Rumble, you can't actually see who the announcers are. It's very hard to tell this small. I'm assuming they modeled them after someone, but God if I know.
Yeah, no. Not enough detail there to really tell.
Yeah. But
from judging from the screenshots and our playthrough, that we're looking at the screenshots right now in our notes from our playthroughs, and one looks like the person in the center looks like it could be Vince. Then it looks like it's a female on the left, and then on the right it looks like Rick Steiner.
I was gonna say Rick Rude or Matt Cardona.
Oh, both acceptable.
Actually, I think Vince looks like Brian Knobs, but okay. Let's talk about this cage because This is interesting.
Let's
it's actually
talk about this cage.
It's actually pretty cool if it was the real cage. It's got some weird like plate on the side, like a steel plate holding it together. There's no ropes, and you got a metal WWF logo in the middle of it.
Do you want to talk about the canvas?
How it's just got a very uncentered WWF logo in it.
It's just.
I think this stuff just bothers us.
I don't understand. It's just in the like top. It's like you top aligned, center aligned it in a rectangle, in a square. Like it's not centered in the space. It's just centered on the top line. And I guess the reason for that is because maybe they didn't want the logo to be cut off by the bottom set of the ring ropes, but like I don't think it would.
Maybe it got a little jumbled on the small screen.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just weird. So, like John was saying, for the cage match, they just took it off.
Yeah, and they put it
on the canvas anymore.
The barricades are also way too high. But I think every wrestler here looks like themselves.
Every match is a cage match in this arena.
Macho Man's got his like Zubas. Hogan's got his trunks. Everyone looks like they do in like Raw or Royal Rumble. Undertaker looks like Undertaker.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. I think my favorite part of the whole character select screen, did you know? Did you know WWF Superstars 2 is one of only 8 WWF games to be published by LJN?
Did you know WWF Superstars 2 is considered to be the Game Boy port of WWF Steel Cage Challenge? I knew it felt familiar.
Did you know WWF Superstars 2 is on eBay for only $1 to $25 for the cartridge only, $103 with the box and manual, and $350 brand new sealed? Ooh. No.
That's
no, I'm not.
Still steep for a Game Boy game.
Yeah, I guess this one's a little high in demand.
Steel Cage Challenge, though. That said it as soon as I threw a dropkick. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, everything feels the same.
That's what this
the moves
is.
look the same. The characters look the same. I think they did a pretty good job porting it on a lower console.
Yeah, it is. It's not bad. I wish I had this as a kid.
Yeah. I said during Clash at the Feast, unless it was like during this and I just don't remember, but it took me so long to beat Attitude. Like I couldn't beat Sable in Attitude. And this game just felt more like fluent. Like Game Boy games were just so hard for some reason.
I guess, you know what I was thinking about? I can't remember when. Maybe it was the last time we played a Game Boy game. We had also talked about how like Game Boy games are just needlessly hard. And I think it's because they needed to have like a high replayability.
Yeah.
So if they keep it just insanely difficult, it's not a game that you're going to beat in one take and then put down and never go back to.
Right.
But
I agree.
You know, sometimes you just want like an easy game.
Sometimes, but this one might have been too easy. I wouldn't say easy. I would say this one's a little too. There's just no meat on the bone. You know, like the no finishers, no entrances, but they're whatever it is.
You think they could take away the Mountie and give us finishers, and that fixes a world of hurt?
Yeah, I guess. If that's a fair trade-off, sure. I'll take a leg drop. But all right, we've been talking a lot here. We talked a lot about 2K20. We talked a lot about this game, WWF Superstars 2. Are you ready for some ratings and reviews?
I want to hear what everyone else has to say.
All right, so I got the game FAQ user rating here. The fans give this a 2 out of 5 stars out of 58 ratings. The difficulty is a 3 out of 5, which is easy/just right. And the length played is 9 hours out of 27 ratings. I think that's fair considering it takes about an hour to beat the built mode. Now, Nintendo Life gives this a 6.9, game rating, and this is only out of 8 user ratings. They did not review this themselves, and that's really all we have here. But we talked about everyone else's ratings, but is it time to talk about our ratings?
Oh, is it that time already, John?
It's time to rate the games.
The game!
All right, George Feis.
Oh.
WWF Superstars 2. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
You're fired!
I got to read the Did You Know, where I said that this is the Game Boy port of Steel Cage Challenge, and Steel Cage Challenge fits into the Royal Rumble WrestleMania Raw family, so I think this is getting a play it forever for me. It's a nice port of a game series that I loved and continue to love, so yeah, play it forever.
Woo!
Okay.
All right, Johnny Clash, let's hear what you think. WWF Superstars 2. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
So I actually future endeavored Superstars 1, and you played it forever, which I could tell because you really like this one. But this one I'm going with a play it forever.
Oh.
Woo!
I think the simpler version of the Sega, Super Nintendo games, it fared pretty well. I think it looked nice. I think it was just nice to just pick up and play, and I would play it again.
Hell yeah. You love to see it.
Now, here's something cool. I actually just found the game manual scanned in here, and I'm going to put that in the notes for our Patreon subscribers to go check out, but you could Google it if you would like to see it. It's actually got bios for every wrestler in here.
Oh, yeah. That was a huge thing back in the day.
So it's got, remember when books came with the cheat code section in the back with just lines that you could write codes in?
Oh, yeah. Like the notes section.
Yeah. This is how you get to Mike Tyson. But it starts with you, how to prepare for the match, what everything on the HUD does, the maneuvers, moving around the ring. It's got everything written out here. We probably could have used this before we started playing the game. But then it's got superstar profiles, and it takes you through every wrestler. Pretty cool.
I mean, there's 6 wrestlers. Do you want to pick one and read the bio for one guy, and I'll pick the bio and read it for one guy?
Yes, few competitors in the WWF are as cocky as the Mountie, but his arrogant self-confidence is well-earned. This is the man who could wrestle and brawl with equal ease and is never satisfied until he gets his man and the victory is his.
Okay, before I read mine, is there something about that block of text that bothers you?
The weird highlighting?
Well, no. I mean, that's just the design of the thing itself.
How it's
Oh no, it's not weird.
Oh, it's their
highlighting.
name.
It's their name.
Oh, I thought someone highlighted this and then scanned it. But yes, everything is also justified here.
It's justified, and it's the run-on text with the dash at the end of the line.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I can't stand it.
I turn that off every time in InDesign.
Can't stand it.
Also,
all right.
Hogan and Jake are the only ones with only one picture. Weird.
Huh. That's weird. I guess you kind of really only need that one picture of Hogan. That's the iconic picture of Hogan.
They don't want to pay him for 2.
Yeah. Quiet, methodical, and dangerous, the Undertaker wrestles like a silent juggernaut. His almost inhuman ability to absorb punishment assures that he never takes a backward step on his... What? What is that word? Inexorable?
Yeah, I guess.
Inexorable journey towards inevitable... This is a game for kids. 30. I'm in my 30s. I don't know what the hell inexorable means. What? Good Lord.
It means impossible to stop or prevent.
It's a kid's game. And also, it makes you bust out the dictionary. It's a learning game as well, kids. Oh, good Lord. All right, John. You think it's time for us to talk about that weekly tournament that we do? Or do you want to read more bios?
I think it's time for a Clash at the Feast.
Hit that fun summertime music. just want it to be warm, and I want that music to actually bring warm weather here.
Yeah, that would be nice because I'm getting sick of the snow. Yeah.
Yeah, not even the snow, man. It's like 20 degrees outside, and the other day it was like 15. Our Canadian listeners are like, dude, that's like easy living when it's 15.
For this week's episode, check out youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast, where we play WWF Superstars 2. But last week we played Giant Graham All Japan Pro Wrestling 2. Now, we mixed in some Virtua Fighters in there, and I think that's where you started to find your stride, because you completely took the first game. I completely took the second game, unless it was opposite. And then the third game, you just ran all over me with your Virtua guys.
I mean, the animations for some of these moves was ridiculous. Not because they were bad, but just like I don't even know what they're called, like the ghosting animation, where it's like super faded when you hit some of the power bombs. It's cool. It made the moves feel awesome, and like when I hit the power bomb on you, that was a very satisfying move. I think that's the thing that I'm noticing that I like a lot about these Japanese style games. When you hit like a big move and it feels satisfying to hit it, and it's not just like, hey, you did a power bomb. Cool.
Yeah, makes it like mean something, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good word.
Okay, I want to point something out, George.
Well, hold on.
Oh, okay.
You gotta play my music.
Oh.
Thank you. You were saying.
So, year 3. The past 5 weeks in a row, we've played it forever on every game. Now
we've changed.
Now, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of the past 11 games, you played it forever on 10. The only game you future endeavored out of the past 11 games since Wrestle Kingdom has been Hulk Hogan's main event. So did I.
Yeah, no, I would
Yeah.
future endeavor that again.
And then I did Shin Nihon Tokan Retsuden 3. So, but pretty good series of games we've been playing.
See what happens when I stop picking the games and we let the Mega Marks pick the games.
Yeah, I guess we like them. But
we get better quality games.
With that, this is always iffy. What did Soups pick for us next week?
Yeah, this is the month of the long video game names. Next week, thanks to Soups, we are playing Power Pro Wrestling 96 Max Voltage for the Super Famicom.
Now, when we looked this game up the first time we heard about it, when he said we wanted to play it, we both looked at this, looked up the screenshots, and we're like, oh, okay. So maybe this is going to be good.
Yeah, it looks very different from other wrestling games that we've played. Just the only way that I can describe it, and I'm going to say this again next week, is if you're familiar with how they made the assets for like Donkey Kong Country, it looks like that.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I see it. Cool.
I'll talk a little bit more about that next week, but yeah, I'm very, if the gameplay matches how this looks, this could be this year's Saturday Night Slam Masters, if you know what I'm saying.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, is that it? Are we putting a bow on this one? I feel like we went long this week.
Yeah, well, we had a lot to cover, but take us home.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks Podcast. Podclash?
Clash. Podclash?
Podclash. That's your new spinoff show. That's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks Podcast. Please check out all of our merchandise at GameMarksPod.com/shop. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. It is the best way besides listening to support the podcast, and make sure to follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Leave us a review and a rating on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and subscribe to wherever you choose to listen to your podcast. John, I think maybe one of the DLC packs for 2K22. Maybe we're going to get a Hall of Fame 2020 class, and that means that we might get Jushin Thunder Liger.
I thought you were going to say us, but game over, Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.